there, snitch. This fellow was also with Yahushua of Nazareth. He was with him. He's one of them. And again he denied with an oath, I do not know the man. I don't know the man. After a while came unto him they that sat by, and said to Peter, surely thou also art one of them. Surely you one of them. For thy speech betrayeth thee. Hey, the way you speak, certain way you speak, it tells us that you are one of them. Then began he to curse and to swear, saying, I know not the man. And immediately the cock crew. Immediately the rooster crew. Maybe they're going to deny him 3 times before the cock crew. That 3rd time, that rooster crowed. And Peter remembered the word of Mashiach Yahushua, which said unto him, before the cock crow, thou shalt deny me thrice. That's 3 times. And he went out and wept bitterly. He went out and started crying. See? But you see, they got him. That's what they did. That's what they did. Look at Look at Matthew 27. Just after Mashiach had passed, in verse Matthew 27 and 57, it says, when the even was come, there came a rich man of Arimathea named Joseph, who also himself was a Mashiach Yahushua disciple. A lot of them was disciples of a Mashiach Yahushua in secret. They didn't want to know. You know, they didn't want the Pharisees and the Scribes and so forth to know that they were disciples of a Mashiach, or they would be kicked out the temple. He went to Pilate and begged the body of a Mashiach. This is after he passed on the tree. Then Pilate commanded the body to be delivered. And when Joseph had taken the body, he wrapped it in a clean linen cloth and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had hewn out in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the door of the sepulchre and departed. And there was Mary Magdalene and the other Mary sitting over against the sepulchre. Now the next day that followed the day of the preparation, the chief priests and Pharisees came together unto Pilate. It's the day of unleavened bread, saying, Sir, we remember that thou deceiver said, saying, Sir, we remember that deceiver said, talk about the Mashiach, while he was yet alive, after 3 days I will rise again. Command therefore that the sepulchre be made sure until the 3rd day. So every day knew. You may say, show him a sign. You say, only sign I'm going to give you is the sign of Jonas. And Jonah was in the well about 3 days, and Most High let him come out. Mashiach was shining in the earth 3 days, and he's going to be resurrected. Command therefore that the scepter be made sure until the 3rd day, lest his disciples come by night and steal him away, and say unto the people, he is risen from the dead. So the last error shall be worse than the first. Pilate said unto them, ye have a watch, go your way, make it as sure as you can. So you got a watch, you could have got somebody to watch over you, make it sure as you want to. So they went and made the sepulchre sure, sealing the stone and setting a watch. So they sealed the stone that the rich man Joseph had put in front of the grave, the tomb, and had somebody watch him. See? So it says, in the end of the Sabbath, 28:1, as it began to dawn toward the 1st day of the week, end of the Sabbath, which is the seventh day sundown, it began to dawn to the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake. For the angel of the Most High descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. So he rolled that stone out the way, sat upon the stone. Angel of the Most High. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. White as snow. And for fear of him, the keepers did shake. They were shaking. But see, Hamashiach made things visible and invisible through the power of the Most High. So they are angels, they are spirits. Some don't believe in that. You don't believe the whole Bible. You don't believe this. But it says, hey, and for fear, verse 4, and for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead men. And the angel answered and said unto the women, fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Mashiach Yahushua, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come see the place where the Hamashiach Yahushua lay. And so quickly and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead, and behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. Now, mind you, when this angel came down and moved the stone from the door and sat upon it, verse 4 said, and for fear of him, the angel of the Most High, the keepers did shake. So they seen this happen and felt that earthquake, that earth moving. When the angel came down and moved that stone out the way, one angel. Tell them how many minutes it took to roll that stone and to seal it. They sealed it and watched it. Made sure they probably put cement all around it, sealed it up. That's why the angel took it like, whoo, boom. Just, they felt the earth shaking when he was moving that stone out the way. They thought they had secured and got the watchmen out there watching to make sure nobody come and move it, but they couldn't do nothing with that angel. That's why it says, verse 4, and for fear of him, for fear of who? That angel. Verse 2, and behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Most High descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the door and sat upon it. Verse 4, and for fear of him, fear of who? That angel of the Most High, the keepers did shake and became as dead men, scared to death. And the angel answered and said unto the women, fear not ye, for I know that you seek Mashiach Yahushua, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come see the place where the Most High, where Mashiach Yahushua lay, and go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead. And behold, he goeth before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him. Lo, I have told you. They departed quickly from the sepulchre with fear and great joy, and did run to bring his disciples word. And as they went to tell his disciples, behold, the Mashiach met them, saying, all hail. And they came and held him by the feet and worshipped him. Then said the Mashiach unto them, be not afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee, and there shall they see me. I told them to go to Galilee, and you're going to see me. He said, it was afraid. They held his feet. Now when they were going, behold, some of the watch came into the city and showed unto the chief priests all the things that were done. So they came and told the chief priests all the things that they had seen and experienced. That angel coming down and rolling that stone out the way. Came to these chief priests and all the things that were done. And when they were assembled with the elders and had taken counsel, they gave large sums, large money unto the soldiers. Gave large sums of money unto the soldiers, saying, look at them, saying, yea, his disciples came by night and stole him away while we slept. Tell this lie. Say ye, his disciples came by night and stole him away while we slept. Tell this lie. And if this come to the governor's ears, we will persuade him and secure you. We're going to lie right with you. If it comes to the governor's ears, we will persuade him and secure you. Yes, this is what happened. This is what the men that were watching over the stone said. The apostles came by night. That's a lie. That's what they're saying. So, remember, the devil deceived the whole world. The serpent deceived the whole world. You see? He was cast out and his angels with him. Here they are right here. I mean, straight up telling them to lie. And he said, don't worry about it. We got your back. And if this comes to the governor's ears, you hear about it, we will persuade him and secure you. Secure your lie. We're going to lie right with you. So they took the money. They paid them for this. And did as they were taught. And this saying is commonly reported among the Jews until this day. Then the 11 disciples went away into Galilee, into a mountain, where h.o.d.c had appointed them. And when they saw him, they worshipped him, but some doubted. Like Thomas, he wasn't there. And h.o.d.c came and spake unto them, saying, all power is given unto me in heaven and in earth. So all power has been given to him by the Most High in heaven and in earth. This is the attitude and attributes of the Pharisees, the Scribes, the elders, and the chief high priests, all of them together, operating in deceit. So that's why when by the time we get to Galatians 3rd chapter, you're going to see how they was rolling. Look at Mark, 2nd chapter. Look at verse 15. Mark 2 and 15. And it came to pass that as h.o.d.c sat at meat in his house, so he was in his house, many publicans and sinners sat also together with h.o.d.c and his disciples. So publicans and sinners sitting with h.o.d.c and his disciples. He sat down to eat. You had publicans and sinners together sat down with h.o.d.c, for there were many, and they followed him. And when the scribes and Pharisees saw him eat with publicans and sinners, they said unto his disciples, how is it that he eateth and drinketh with publicans and sinners? When h.o.d.c heard it, he said unto them, they that are whole have no need of the physician. You all right? Nothing's wrong with you? You're not sick? You don't need to go to the doctor. You don't need the help of a doctor. But they that are sick, when you sick, really sick, it says, they that are whole don't need a doctor, but they that are sick. When you sick, you need to go to the doctor. I came not to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance, he said. See? So, it's pretty much the same stories as we read in Matthew. And you see in the end what they did to him. And in the end, they lied about him rising from the dead. That's why I say many people believe in that he never rose from the dead. Sadducees, you know they don't believe it. They didn't believe in the resurrection. So these are the attributes of the Pharisees and Scribes, how they were acting, how they were rolling. And we have to remember this because it's very important that we see this, so that by the time you get to Galatians the 3rd chapter, you'll realize how they were operating in true, unadulterated wickedness. Unadulterated wickedness. Go to St. John, because generally Matthew, Mark, and Luke pretty much telling the story Matthew's telling the way he's seen it. Mark is telling the way he's seen it. And Luke is telling the way he's seen it. But John is spiritual. So let's look at the book of John. Prophet John. And verse 13. St. John 9 and 13. They brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime was blind. So you read from verse 1 down, it was a man that was blind. And h.o.d.c made him see through the power of the Most High. So verse 13 says, they brought to the Pharisees him that aforetime that before was blind. And it was the Sabbath day when the h.o.d.c made the clay and opened his eyes. So it was the Sabbath day that he did good. On the Sabbath day, it made the clay and opened his eyes that he could see. Then again, the Pharisees also asked him how he had received his sight. He said unto them, he put clay upon mine eyes, and I washed and do see. So he put clay upon my eyes and put them on my eyes, and I see. Therefore said some of the Pharisees, this man is not of the Most High, because he keepeth not the Sabbath day. Others said, how can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them. There was a division among them. So some would say, hey, this man is dishonoring the Sabbath. He's not of the Most High, because he keepeth not the Sabbath. Others said, how can a man that is a sinner do such miracles? And there was a division among them. So the division came among them Pharisees. I want to say you go to John, you go to a little bit more spiritual understanding. They say unto the blind man again, what sayest thou of him? That he have opened thine eyes? He said, he is a prophet. You know, they already dislike him. They already want to kill him. This before, you know, we going back to the times he was living in the flesh. We went to the end. We know what they did in the end. But we looking at what John is saying as h.o.d.c was on the earth. Different scenarios, different case scenarios that he was doing. But the Jews did not believe concerning him that he had been blind and received his sight. They didn't believe it. I don't believe you was blind and h.o.d.c made you to see, until they called the parents of him that had received his sight. So they called his parents in. And they asked them, saying, is this your son, who you say was blind, born blind? How then does he now see? See, he was born blind. You say your son was born blind. How is he now seeing? His parents answered them and said, we know that this is our son, and that he was born blind, but by what means he now seeth, we know not. He ain't told him how he received his sight, or who have opened his eyes. We know not. He is of age. He of age. Asked him. He shall speak for himself. Let him speak for himself. Said, we don't know. Asked him. He'll speak for himself. These words spake his parents because they feared the Jews. This is what they had said. For the Jews had agreed all together that if any man did confess that he was Mashiach. This is very important. That's why the Spirit brought to me Mashiach. We were just saying Yahushua. Now we say Bahashem Mashiach Yahushua. In the name of the anointed Savior. That he was Mashiach, he but one Mashiach, and that's him. Because the Jews had already agreed that if any man did confess that he was Mashiach, the anointed, the Messiah, he should be put out of the synagogue. Put him out of the synagogue. So you understand, their whole thing was against the Mashiach Yahushua. That's why you're looking at the people that was following them, they fools. They off. So therefore said his parents, he is of age. Asked him. They're afraid of be putting out of synagogue. Like some of you afraid if you leave whatever church you know that is not right, you're going to go to hell. Or you're afraid they done threaten you that the Most High going to kill you or whatever going to happen to you. They're so afraid they're going to be put out of the synagogue. You are Mashiachim. You belong to Mashiach, and the Mashiach belongs to the Most High. Better keep it moving. Shoot. Or you going to go to hell with them? I say you're going to be the least in the kingdom of heaven. Go to hell right with them. Therefore said his parents, he is of age, asked him. They're afraid to be put out of the synagogue. Then again called they the man that was blind, and said unto him, give the Most High the praise. We know that this man is a sinner. Give the Most High the praise. We know that this man, h.o.d.c, is a sinner, because he did this miracle on the Sabbath day. He answered and said, whether he be a sinner or no, I know not. I don't know if he's a sinner or not. One thing I know, say one thing I do know, that whereas I was blind, now I see. Say, whereas I was blind, now I see. He was blind all his life. Then said they to him again, what did he to thee? How opened he thine eyes? He answered them, I have told you already, and you did not hear? You hear what I said? I told you already. You hear what I said? Wherefore would ye hear it all again? You want to hear it? Want me to tell you again? Will ye also be his disciples? Oh man. He really going into him now, say, you gonna be his disciples? Are you gonna he gonna make you so that you be his disciples? You know, this really cut him. You know, they hated him. You see, they finally put him to death. Had him put to death. Then they reviled him and said, thou art his disciple, but we are Moses' disciples. We believe in Moses. Like I said, they sit in Moses' seat. He told them about that. We read that. You know, hear what they say and reading the scriptures, but don't do what they do. They say and do not. Yeah, but we are Moses' disciples. We know that the Most High spake unto Moses. As for this fellow, we know not from whence he is. The man answered and said unto them, why herein is a marvelous thing, that ye know not from whence he is, and yet he have opened mine eyes. Now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners. But if any man be a worshiper of the Most High and do of his will, him he heareth. That means he's telling you, he said, now we know that the Most High heareth not sinners. He don't hear no sinners. But if any man be a worshiper of the Most High and do of his will, him he heareth. What's the will of the Most High? Do his commandments. Follow his laws. Them Most High heareth. Since the world began, was it not heard that any man opened the eyes of one that was born blind? If this man were not of the Most High, he could do nothing. They answered and said unto him, thou was altogether born in sins. Who you think you are? You was altogether born in sin. You know who we are. He cutting them, so now they going to come back with a cut against him. Back and forth, reviling the man. The man couldn't see all his life. Now he can see. He's been happy as ever. Giving glory. It says, they answered and said unto him, thou was altogether born in sins, and dost thou teach us? And they cast him out, kicked him out. Myself heard that they had cast him out. You heard about this conversation. And heard that they had cast him out. And when he had found him, he said unto him, dost thou believe on the Son of the Most High? He answered and said, who is he, Master, that I might believe on him? Son of the Most High, right? And myself said unto him, thou hast both seen him, and it is he that talketh with thee. So he's letting them know that he is the Son of the Most High. He's saying it out of his own mouth. So you both seen him, and it is he that talketh to you, meaning himself, h.o.d.c. And he said, Master, I believe, and he worshipped him. And h.o.d.c. said, for judgment I am come into this world, that they which see not might see, and they which see it might be made blind. So what he's saying is those that are sinners and publicans and doing the things that's contrary to the laws of the Most High may learn the laws of the Most High and see. And those that are so righteous and holy than thou, putting people down and thinking that they are that, make them blind. Sound familiar? Yeah, in our day we can see that. And some of the Pharisees which were with him heard these words and said unto him, are we blind also? So you talking about them. Mashah said unto them, if you were blind, ye should have no sin. But now ye say, we see. Therefore your sin remaineth. Yeah, he cutting them. That's what he said. Look, verse 39, and Mashah said, for judgment I am come into this world, the punishment, to punish those that have broken the laws of the Most High, not following the true power, the Most High, that they which see not might see. Those that don't see, they might see. And that they which see, they think they sin, might be made blind. That's the vision, y'all. That ain't no togetherness. That's the vision. No, I say first gonna be first gonna be last, and last gonna be first. Many are called, but few are chosen. I'm telling you. You think you can see so well, it's gonna make you blind. And those that cannot see this, he gonna bring them in. That's why he ain't called no noble and no prestigious people into this truth. She used the basis of things to confound the mind, the wisdom, and understanding of the wise. That's why they gotta create things to come against us. Not according to thus say the Most High, but according to this word. They ain't doing that. They're not gonna do that because it's unprofitable for them. And the thing about it, you don't know what the Most High doing, or will do, or has done. The people that come against this probably, he just said, hey, he just called them. He called them out. Very important. We got a bunch of snitches in our nation too. Look, go to St. John 11. After I spoke on it, but let's look at it. St. John 11, and this is when Lazarus had died. He had been in the grave for 4 days. This was the ultimate. After he did this, you see, he made the man to see. After he did this, they was like, man, we got to put this dude to death. So let's go to St. John 11, and once my h.o.d.c, he knew that his friend Lazarus, that was his friend, was deceased, and he had been in the grave for 4 days. Let's see. St. John 11 and 35. It says, my h.o.d.c wept. He was crying. Then said the Jews, behold, how he loved him. And some of them said, could not this man, which opened the eyes of the blind, have caused that even this man should not have died? We just read about how he opened the eyes of the man that was blind. Say, couldn't he have caused it so this man, Lazarus, would not have died? Machshai therefore, again groaning in himself, cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone lay upon it. Machshai said, take ye away the stone. Martha, the sister of him that was dead, Lazarus, his sister, said unto him, Mashiach Yahushai, by this time he stinketh, for he hath been dead 4 days, as I said. He been dead 4 days. Mashiach said unto her, said I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, you have faith, thou shouldst see the glory of the Most High. Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid. And the Mashiach lifted up his eyes and said, Father, Abba, I thank thee that thou hast heard me. And I knew that thou hearest me always. But because of the people which stand by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me. And when he thus had spoken, he cried with a loud voice, Lazarus, come forth. And he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes, and his face was bound about with a napkin. Yahushua said unto them, loose him and let him go. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did believed on him. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done. Bunch of snitches. They seen it. That's why you see he had those spies out there. They had those spies out there looking, trying to see what's going on. And they seen it. They went and told the Pharisees what things Yahushua had done. He done made this man see that was blind all those years. Now he done raised Lazarus from the dead after he was dead for 4 days. Through the power of the Most High. You see what he said? Father, Abba, crying to the Most High. That's the power of the Most High. Verse 47. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? This man doeth many miracles. Many miracles. How many? So you see how many he done. Go to St. John 21 and verse 25. And there are also many other things which Yahushua did, the which, if they should be written every one, I suppose that even the world itself could not contain the books that should be written. Hear that? All the miracles that he done, the books, the world can contain the books that should be written. That's a lot of miracles. So, once he rose Lazarus from the dead, the Pharisees and the chief priests had a council, said, what do we? In verse 47 of John 11 chapter. For this man doeth many miracles. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him. Isn't that looking to make themselves a reputation? And the Romans, were the superpower of the earth, during the time that Yahushua walked the earth in the flesh, shall come and take away both our place and nation. It's the whole thing. This is what it's all about. They want power over the people. And with the Romans, the system that was in the superpower of the earth that was walking and operated in the earth at the time that Yahushua walked the earth. And one of them, named Caiaphas, being the high priest that same year, said unto them, ye know nothing at all, nor consider that it is expedient for us that one man should die for the people. That's the children of Israel. 12 tribes of Israel. And that the whole nation perish not. That the whole nation don't just be killed off. And this spake he not of himself, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that a Mashiach Yahushua should die for that nation. And not for that nation only, but that also he should gather together in one the children of the Most High that were scattered abroad. That's why we go on to Galations. Those are the Israelites that are in the land of Galatia. You're going to gather those that are in the land of Galatia also. Then from that day forth, they took counsel together for to put him to death. Mashiach shall therefore walk no more openly among the Jews, but went thence unto a country near to the wilderness, into a city called Ephraim, northern Israel, Samaria, and there continued with his disciples. See? So, as you see, once he raised Lazarus, they want to kill him. Let's continue in verse 55. And the Jews' Passover was nigh at hand. So this is the Passover that we the Israelites have every year. And many went out of the country up to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. So they went up to Jerusalem before the Passover to purify themselves. Then sought they for the Hamashiach Yahushua, and spake among themselves as they stood in the temple, what think ye? That he will not come to the feast? And you think he gonna come to the feast? But both the chief priests and the Pharisees had given a commandment that if any man knew where he were, he should show it, that they might take him. Wherever you's at, you let us know that we could take him. See? So with that, I'm gonna digress, and we'll continue with this because, like I said, it's enough that you can see the spirit of the Pharisees and the scribes and the chief priests and the elders and so forth, how they were against the Mashiach Yahushua, and he was against them, saying destruction to you, death to you, and calling them serpents and vipers and so forth. You know, calling the devil and Satan, however you want to look at it. What's the difference? Serpent is the devil and Satan, as we read in Revelation 12 and 9. So, and he's given a vision to John on the island of Patmos, straight up. So, with this in mind, by the time you get to Paul and Saul and him being converted to go out and teach by Hashem Mashiach in the name of the Lord and Savior, suffer for in the name of the Lord and Savior, then you understand his letters more. But if he Mashiach him, then how is it that he's talking about not keeping the law of the Most High? Did the Mashiach sin? No. He was perfect. He was that perfect lamb, that sacrificial lamb that had to have no blemishes. That was him. And he teaching them as the Spirit of the Most High. So how is it that he teaching them not to follow the Most High, not to follow him? He said in John 14 and 15, if ye love me, keep my commandments. Commandments are the laws. So how are you going to change that? To mean something different. That's why go to Hebrews 13 and 8. And we're going to conclude with this. So you love him, keep his commandments. Listen. Hebrews 13 and 8. Mashiach Yahushua is the Most High, Mashiach Yahushua, the same yesterday and today and forever. If you love me, keep my commandments. The same yesterday when he said it, and today, this day, and forever. Hallelujah to the Most High. So, he ain't changed. Malachi 3 and 6 said, I am the Most High, changed not. So, I say I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. And with that, I say shalom.